What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Knight, here to give you a proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. And today we are going to dive into a DC character, one of my favorites actually. And everybody who knows me knows that I do not like Superman. I'm not a Superman fan, but there are three Supermen in particular that I actually do kind of like. Maybe four. Anyway, the one we are talking about today is Kal-El, or Calvin Ellis, from Earth 23. Calvin Ellis's background or origin is essentially the same. Krypton was destroyed in a cataclysmic explosion, but before that, Jor-El and Laura sent their son on a ship to Earth, and he ended up being found by a poor family by the name of the Ellises, and they called him Calvin, and they taught him to stand up for whatever it was that he believed in, no matter what. When his star-spanning powers, why are we saying it like that? When his powers came in under Earth's yellow sun, he became Superman and started to protect the Earth and started doing what was right for the entire planet and the universe. He would then go on to fight against, what is that man's name? I was about to say Luke Cage. Oh my god. Lex Luthor, and just all kinds of threats all around the world, and he would defeat them, of course. But his greatest thing was not only just being Superman, but he ended up becoming president of the United States, and his long assistant Courtney was there by his side, as well as a reconstructed, redone completely Brainiac. And he would continue to be Superman as well as be president of the United States. So he would try to handle things politically as president of the United States, President Calvin Ellis, but then he would also try to do things that were not able to be handled politically. He would handle those as Superman. He next appears in Final Crisis when he was recruited by the multiverse Superman team to help stop the vampire god Mandrak, and then he was also asked to help stabilize New Earth for the conditions and everything like that for New Earth. Going into New 52, we see that he has a fairly easy battle with Lex Luthor, and after he realizes that Lex Luthor only served as a distraction to whatever the real plan was, he goes and he finds this machine or this ray, and three humans pop out of it. One of them dies almost instantly, the other one kind of just passes out, and the other one, who is a woman, fires a Kryptonian laser at him, but it doesn't have any effect, and it's actually a kryptonite laser, and it doesn't have any effect on him, and I will actually get into that later. He eventually disarms the woman and asks her about her situation, and she says that she's on the run from a monster named Superman. Isn't that interesting? Now, she does reveal that she is from an alternate universe, and that the Superman that she Clark Kent of her universe and Jimmy Olsen had created was supposed to, or was built to, inspire people and protect and all of this other stuff, and it ended up being stolen and corrupted by a company called Overcorp, and it ended up just going on this huge rampage throughout the multiverse, destroying all of the Supermen that it could find, and it is actually named Super Doomsday. That is convenient. She also tells him that it has already destroyed Superman of Earth 42 and Optiman from Earth 36, and that she highly doubts that he would be any different. He's just going to be killed like the rest of them. The monster then comes through the portal, and with the help of the other woman, or well, with the help of the woman, and then of course Lex Luthor, who is still there for some strangely odd reason, they are able to defeat the monster and send it back through the portal, seemingly tearing it to shreds. Lex Luthor always is in places he's not supposed to be, but it was a good thing that he was there, because I highly doubt that Calvin Ellis would have survived that. Listen, after I tell you this part, I'm gonna just sit here and I got a couple of things to say about this one part. So he summons his Justice League and explains to them what the machine is and asks them to analyze it. And he introduces himself to the woman, and she introduces herself as Lois Lane. And she says, "You must be Superman done right." It sounded like she wanted some chocolate, to be perfectly honest. And again, I will get into his powers and what makes him different from the other Supermen later. But his powers in particular, I think, would be why. During the Multiversity storyline, he has a fight with this robot and is able to disable it, and like not destroy it, but disable it. And he takes it to the Justice League's tower to have it analyzed. And with the presence of non-universal material like being there, it had activated Lex Luthor's transmatter ray, and unwittingly speaking the words SOS, he was transported to Earth 26, where he ended up meeting Captain Carrot. Actually, it wasn't Earth 26, he was transported to the House of Heroes, where he met Captain Carrot, who was from Earth 26. So he is here with all of these heroes from across the multiverse, and the Thunderbird from Earth 7 tells them that essentially they're looking for a villain called the Gentry, and they are having trouble locating, of course. So Superman uses the Brainiac technology that he has in his belt to activate the House of Heroes AI, who is Harbinger. And Harbinger tries to, tell them that this is what you have to do. There's this thing called the bleed that they have to go across. So in order for them to traverse the bleed, they have to use shift ships. And the only person who is really able to assist with that is Calvin Ellis, because his experience with music is able to assist with that. So he is able to assist and help with these shift ships so that they could go across the bleed. Another part of their plan is saving the Monitor Nix Yutan, and they're trying to save him from the Gentry. So they are trying to get to Earth 7 and end up, well, not Earth 7, because Earth 7 ended up getting destroyed. I believe they're trying to get to Earth 8, and they get transported to like Earth 9. My memory of these situations is terrible. They're trying to go to Earth 7 and they end up on Earth 8 and are confronted by the Retaliators. And before they're able to come to an understanding, the Monitor Nix Yutan hatches from the dark egg and comes out as a dark monitor and servant of the Gentry. Having heard stories about the Monitor in all of his travels, Calvin Ellis tried to reason with him and talk to him and get him out of it, but he was not listening, and so Calvin Ellis just went ahead and joined the other heroes in the battle to defeat him. Once Nix Yutan was disinfected, they went to go confront, and they actually ended up defeating the Gentry. They went back to Earth 7 to go up against the Gentry's leader, the Empty Hand. When the heroes confronted the Empty Hand, he was basically like, I'm going to just defeat you at another time. And Superman's like, you have no idea how many people fucking say that shit, and it never happened. So they get transported back to Earth 8, and with Superman leading them, they end up forming the Justice Incarnate, and they're basically created for specifically when the Empty Hand does their new attack at a later date. Now, during DC Rebirth, DC Rebirth, what the fuck? During DC Rebirth, the Supermen across the multiverse were being hunted by Prophecy. So Kal-El from New Earth and Kal-El from Earth 30 were sent to talk to Calvin Ellis of the Justice Incarnate. Now, Kal-El and the League did warn the other Supermen about what was happening, and they did try to assist them in finding Kong Kenan, who was the Superman of China. Now, when they get back to the House of Heroes, I believe it's Calvin Ellis takes the Ultima Tool to the prophecy to enact his plan as bait, and it served as a beacon to show where the other captured Supermen were. But the problem was getting to where they were. They didn't have another vessel to travel with. So Red Racer actually ended up sacrificing himself because he was telling them that another vessel would take thousands of years to build, and they did not have that time. So Red Racer ended up sacrificing himself and building another one so that they could get over there and enact their plan. This did shock everyone, but they were able to defeat the prophecy and release the Supermen so that they could go back to their respective universes. Now, as for his abilities, Calvin Ellis does have the Kryptonian physiology, so he does have the heat vision, the super hearing, the super strength. He also has the solar energy absorption. He has the telescopic vision, the X-ray vision, microscopic vision, the infrared vision. And he also has like the flight and invulnerability. He has the superhuman speed, stamina, strength. He has like some kind of immunity as well. He has the super breath, the longevity. This one also, Calvin Ellis also is a boxer, so he knows how to fight. And then of course he has like the leadership, surveillance, and then he's very talented in music. He plays the guitar. What makes this Superman different and being built right is the fact that he is only susceptible to Meta-Knight, right? So it's kind of like Kryptonite, but it only affects people from Earth 23. Okay, so Kryptonite on any other Earth has absolutely no effect on him, which is why when Lois Lane from a different Earth has shot him with that Kryptonite gun, it didn't do anything because Kryptonite doesn't affect him, which instantly makes him better than literally any of the other Supermen. He also doesn't have a vulnerability to magic either. Magic is not listed as a weakness. The only weakness with him is the Meta-Knight. He also doesn't have like a psychological weakness where he can easily be brainwashed. So again, his only weakness is Meta-Knight, and it's only effective on Earth 23. So essentially anybody looking at this Superman in particular and like wants to do any of the other normal Superman weaknesses, it's not going to work because those aren't his weaknesses, which makes him better. So how do we feel about this character? He needs to be brought back. I definitely need more of Calvin Ellis, especially with him being president of the United States. I believe he's kind of also based on Barack Obama, which I think is fun. This character is fun and well written. DC does have that thing that they do where they introduce these characters and put them in these different stories, and then we never see or hear from them again. I honestly need them to like fix that. Everyone on Earth 23, I think except for Batman, is black. So I also love that because there's a black Wonder Woman in there, and it's like it's a fun story, and it's a fun character to include in the different stories. But the fact that you only include him in the times where he has to team up with the other Supermen, I don't like that. He is his own Superman. He is a well-written Superman. He has a different set of powers and weaknesses, and I really think more stories about him need to come out, and it does not need to be related to literally everybody else. But that's just me. But thank you again. That is it for this character for today, and I will see you guys when you come back for your next checkup.